This is The Press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. So right now, our phone lines are open. You can call in to make your contributions or ask your questions as we adjust one phone call away. Our guest on the show this morning is Ade-Mario. He is a security expert and a public affairs analyst. It's great to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year to you.
You're welcome to the year of success.
Amen. And you too.
Thank
likewise.
You so much.
All right, let's go straight to our headline this morning. We'll start with Daily Trust. And there's this particular headline here on Daily Trust that says, I have fulfilled pledge to tackle Boko Haram insurgents, and that's coming from President Muhammadu Buhari.
Yes.
As a security expert, do you agree or are you indifferent?
No, I will agree 100%.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Tell us why.
Yeah, the reasons are the president has tried his best by giving directive to those who are to execute the mandate of bringing an end to the insurgents. President Muhammadu Buhari cannot leave the villa, cannot leave his office to go to the war front, to go to the forest. There are persons in charge. There are persons that this assignment have been placed in their hands. And I'm able to say that the JTF commander, who was just moved from Maiduguri to another office, tried his best to make sure that Boko Haram was totally annihilated in the northeast, in the northwest, in the north central, and in Nigeria at large. But the saboteurs, those who benefit from the crisis.
Are you going to put a name to it?
No. There's no way I can put a name to it. Today, the country we are is a country where immediately you become blunt. You become the target. Some of us are no more afraid. Yes, because it's a mandate for one to die. So it means you might either die in the morning, or you die in the afternoon, or you die in the evening. So the nature of the death is what differs. But it has been destined that some will die by gun, either accidental or by mandate. But the truth remains that those that are benefiting from the insurgency activities in Nigeria today don't want it to come to an end. Because if it comes to an end in totality, their source of income is totally cut off.
Okay, we'll take on that. Let's quickly take this call and then continue. Hello, good morning. Good morning, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good morning.
Great, good morning. Welcome to KAFTAN TV and The Press. Let's get your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling Shode from Otukpo, Benue State.
Collins from Benue State. Let's hear you. What story actually interests you this morning?
From the statement the analyst just made, I want to count you wrong for the phone.
Go ahead.
Because she was like making a statement that Buhari could not go to the war front to fight the insurgency. Let's take an example from the Niger president that is late now.
Okay.
If you look to it now, there was a newspaper headline I was hearing about the nurses that have left Nigeria for greener pasture in other countries in the Western world. They are like trying to employ them back because of the health issues in Nigeria, and which they are ready to pay them what they demanded before they left. Let me not go away from the issue I was saying about the analyst. You see, Buhari will not go back to the war front. But just like I told him about the Niger president, Buhari is a retired general, if I'm not mistaken. If worst come to worst now, the recruited military, if they are not able to capture whatsoever is on ground, you know we are still going to employ the retired armies to come and take over or to come and help us in fighting this insurgency. And more especially, you see, he has fought the battle and he has 100% is a line. You are talking, somebody was like making a comment about in Channel TVC. I mean, Channel TV when I was watching this morning. It was like complaining of so many things concerning the insecurity in the northeast. Forget about that. All these problems just came up from the northeast. And Are you getting me?
Oh.
Now the areas they say they are not going to have election that they are complaining is the southeast, the northeast, and the southwest, or something of that nature.
All right.
Look, this battle is not over until we are done. Like in my place now, all these Nigerians, they are here with so many medicines that they are selling. How do they get the visa to get into Nigeria?
All right, Collins. Thank you so much.
So this problem is not yet over. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Collins, calling us from Benue State in Otukpo. All right, so now taking a cue from what he says.
Yes, now there's difference between Boko Haram and other criminal vices.
But they're all insecurity and insurgency.
The word was Boko Haram. Now the activities of Boko Haram before now were targeted places where people gathered. Either they will come to the society, they will bomb a particular place, they will come into a town, hijack people, take over that territory. Now, at a point in time, they wanted infiltrating Abuja. They entered Niger. So the activities of Boko Haram has been at least 75% cut off.
Are you saying that when someone says that I will fight insecurity before he came on board, and then at some point Boko Haram, which was part of the insecurity, banditry, kidnapping, criminality, crime, if he decides and if at some point Boko Haram is no longer the problem or the kettle of fish that you are facing, but then you still have other festering crimes, then it means that we should applaud the person because he has at least fought one part of it. Now,
the truth is, just like I started, that he was trying to coach the Niger president, who actually at the point I put on uniform and went to the forefront to go and fight. Looking at his age, one, he does not have that capacity anymore. But the truth is that there are persons and there are office and there are parastatals who are in charge. He has given directive. He has provided everything needed in terms of money, in terms of equipment, in terms of technology. He made all these things available in its essence. Not just in its essence.
So what happens to monitoring and evaluation?
No, that is what we are saying. That it is because he is not getting proper feedback that could help in checkmating the excesses of these saboteurs. Now, some of these persons that are sabotaging this effort, politicians are not exempted because of businesses that are ongoing within that territory. I will take you to what happened 2 days ago in Kaduna, where civil defense officers were killed in a mining site. Now, are you not telling me that these people that came to attack the officers in that particular place, that they don't have government backup from a particular place? So we cannot always put the blame on the presidency. Once upon a time, I was in that field. I was among those that was a kind of criticizing President Muhammadu Buhari that he has done nothing. I took my time. I was in Maiduguri myself. I have met generals who has gone to the forefront to fight. I have met soldiers who have gone to the forefront to fight. My own junior brother has died in that forefront too. So I got feedback even from family members who are also part of those that are fighting this insurgency that is ongoing. But the truth remains, it was never like this. The activities of Boko Haram was more enormous than this. On a daily basis then, you hear people running away. But our own concern is that the president should, at this injury time where he is close to leaving office, see that he look into the generals that he has worked with before now, who can be sincere to the end to see that the work he has started, that the work is seen to a conclusive end that will make Nigeria have a free and fair election come 2023 that we are all envisaging.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question, but before I take that question, let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay, Raimi from Abuja.
All right, Raimi from Abuja. Tell us what story interests you this morning.
Still hitting on the security because that is our major issue for now in Nigeria.
All right, go ahead, Raimi.
Good morning, everybody, and to your analyst, I say good morning. But I have a question for your analyst.
Go ahead.
He's been introduced to us as public affairs analyst. And as a public affairs analyst, I want to ask him whether he remembers that at a point in time, former President Goodluck Jonathan fought this same Boko Haram to the point that we barely hear about their activities. But somehow, the northern leaders, I am from the north, for his record purpose, I'm from the north. So, at a point in time, the so-called elders came together and started accusing the former president that he was killing the northerners. And after then, Jonathan decided to relax his operation. Then what happened? Security escalated. Then they started blaming him again that he was not doing enough. I mean, you cannot always be pushing somebody left and right. Where do you want him to stand? Then this man came and claimed to know all our problem and have the solution, which is the current President Muhammadu Buhari. And we have spent on this man so much as a nation, having trained him to be a military general. Then what did we get? All that he promised became lies. We had only one issue of Boko Haram. Now we have a lot of security challenges, and you are telling us that Boko Haram has been tackled as an analyst. Don't you think that all these other security threats degenerate from these same Boko Haram activities?
All right. All right, thank you so much, Raimi from Abuja, for that contribution. All right, so with regards with what I was going to ask, now if you check Wikipedia, the definition of Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, it says a Commander-in-Chief or Supreme Commander is the person who exercises supreme command and control over an armed force or a military branch. It's quite a lengthy description there. So now, as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, and then you say we should not keep putting blames on him because he has actually tackled one part from the Hydra-headed challenges. Now, with regards to the definition of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, are you still in or out?
Yes, like I said, President Muhammadu Buhari, as a person, his duty as the chief commander is to provide every necessary strategies, both manpower and otherwise, to see that this battle is won. He has done enough for police. On daily basis, you see vehicles being bought. You see technology items being bought. Now, we cannot kind of throw the blame back to him, but the appropriate offices, for example.
But why are you the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces if we can't throw the blame to you?
Now, the truth is this, that yes, as the president, the bullet goes to him. But let us not come back to ourselves as citizens. Are we playing our role to make sure that the dream and the vision and aspiration of the Commander-in-Chief is being achieved? It is not enough for him to make himself available without support. So, and if the support is not coming with a sincere mind, automatically whatsoever he's doing will look as if the efforts are in vain.
Help me understand this, Ade-Mario.
Now, let me help you.
If I elect you as the president, and then you promise to secure the lives and property of Nigerians, and that is the reason why I elected you, then what is my blame here? You are actually stating that we have.
Now, I want to help you out. Should President Muhammadu Buhari be blamed on people that were kidnapped in the train station? There are officials there. There is an MD there, and yet the CCTV camera there is not working. There is no light in that place, and citizens are being kidnapped. And as at when the kidnappers, the bandits came to attack, information we got was that there were not enough personnel in such a place. Should it be the duty of the president to monitor what is happening there? There are authorities that are in charge.
But if you have service chiefs and then you feel that they are not working, why not call them back to order?
No, I think this has been done severally. And that is why the Nigerian Army has at recent, about 2 weeks ago, decided to change the heads of all their sectors for a rebranding. Now, if the police too have been doing that too, at the cost of the retirement of some senior officers. But the area we should be looking at as a country and as citizens is not to begin to question the appropriate offices that are meant to make the protection. Are they providing enough personnel as provided by the system to a particular region, or to a particular community, or to a particular area that is facing challenges? That is number one. The number two is that we should, as citizens too, begin to ask questions on how are instructions being administered. Are they being administered in the way that will benefit the citizens within that territory, that will bring total protections of lives and property? I will bring your attention to this, that just as recent last year, towards the end of last year, the chairman's committee on ethics and privileges was questioning the activities of Bank of Industry. They were meant to give grant of 3.2 million to 5,000 persons per state. At a point in time, the state government hijacked this process and ended up providing just 100 names per state. Ondo State, for example, 100 names. And instead of 3.2 million, only 300,000 were highmarked for this process. The question is this: should President Muhammadu Buhari be questioned? Why not that parastatal? Why not the person in charge of Bank of Industry? That is the same thing that is happening in our security.
We should go and ask.
Yeah, we should hold those that are meant to enact a particular order. We should hold them responsible. Not all of us that will always have access to President Muhammadu Buhari. The way I will have access to you is not the same way I will have access to your authority.
So if President, I hate to use advanced countries, but then
Okay.
if President Joe Biden says that I will tackle insecurity, and then you still see insecurity fester, are you supposed to go back to President Biden to ask him questions, or go to the Secretary of State? Who are you supposed to ask?
Now,
or maybe
today,
the security chiefs?
As of today, I made bold to tell you that as seated as you are, as exposed as you are, the way it will be easy for you to assess the commissioner of youth in your state might not be easy for you to assess the governor. It means that the governor has created an office that will be easier for you to lay your complaint that, Mr. Governor, what you say you want to do has not been done the way you've stipulated it. So our problem as a country is this: we love complaining, we love blaming without bringing solution to the table. I was part of those that was blaming, but today I want to tell you, I am already at the forefront.
Okay, so I think we've actually stayed so long on this story, but before we let this story go,
Okay.
Now you have an election coming forth, and then you have 18 presidential candidates on the ballot, and then most all of them are saying that have their manifestos, their policy documents, and most of them are talking about fighting insecurity. And this one on Daily Trust says Atiku meets UK officials on economy and security. So if one of them gets elected into office and then says I will tackle insecurity headlong, and then you still see insecurity fester, are you saying that we should not drag him back and ask him, before you came in you promised to fight insecurity, secure the lives and properties of Nigerians? Are you saying we should not go back to accuse him, but we should just let it go because he ordered or he employed people to do the job? Is that what you're saying?
No, that is not the point. You're actually getting it from another dimension. I want you to see it from this perspective, that insecurity is just like a lucrative business at the moment in Nigeria and in any other country of the world. There are beneficiaries of it. And who are these beneficiaries? There are cartels. There are cartels that have built a very strong hold. To unravel them and dismantle them, it only takes a president that will be ready to step on toes.
So now you are saying that president was not ready?
No. He with what he has done in the Northeast, I want to tell you that he has stepped on toes. If not for his boldness and for his last order, I want to tell you today we would have been living a more fearful life. Just as at last year, you remembered when there was this rumor that Boko Haram are about to infiltrate FCT by the US and others. You can see how the security was intensified, and at a point in time, all that was neutralized. There were some arrests and there were some other rumors, but yet today, we are living safe. But the truth is this.
Are you saying we are living safe? The Nation newspaper says bandits kill 7 NSCDC officials in Kaduna State.
Yes.
A few days ago, we saw a particular report saying that over 617 victims have died in insecurity since President Muhammadu Buhari said he's going to fight insecurity, and over 1,000 have been kidnapped.
Like I told you, we must be sincere with ourselves until the IG, until the Chief of Defense Staff, until the DG NSCDC and other security architecture of the country now sit down on their own and feel that there are areas that they need to cover and be sincere to themselves. Until then, I want to tell you, there is nothing the head will do that will yield result.
The same head that
gave instruction. Now, I want you to know this, that as the head, there are some certain things you cannot achieve without your subordinates. That is the sincere truth. Some of us has occupied leadership position, and before now, when we were babies, we were not seeing it. But immediately we begin to come into the system, we got to discover that the system has been too decayed for a quick repair. It is a gradual process.
So in your company, if you have subordinates and they are not doing the job that you employ them, would you let them stay, or you throw them out?
There are some that have been thrown out by the president. There are some that have been replaced by the president. But like I said, that there are some certain things that no matter how bad I am, there are some values in me that could still sustain the country, that the president will look at, that if I throw this person away, that it will cause more crisis and havoc to the society. So let me manage him to be able to safeguard at least 95% of the citizens. Now get this right today. Even the United States that we talk about today, are we not saying that there is insecurity, that there's no insecurity happening within United Kingdom? There are a lot happening, but it does not come to the social media. That is the truth. There is no country as at this moment today, as I talk to you, that is safe of insecurity. But everybody is managing theirs. Just that Nigeria as a country has been exposed to social media, that has brought everything about us to the social media, that we now exhaust. And today is bringing us to the back seat among the nation country. Right. But yet, I will say this, that if we must criticize President Muhammadu Buhari, we must also know that there are saboteurs within the cabal that is benefiting from the insecurity. So the whole blame should not always go to him, but yet he is the president. He must always receive the bullet. But we as citizens, we must also be ready to complement whatsoever effort is pushing in. He cannot do it all. He needs us as we need him.
All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Please go ahead. Tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
I was calling. I want to ask let this answer go straight to analyst.
Okay, he can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. In Benue State now, the ruling party in the state is PDP. And because PDP has gone down the drain because they have failed woefully, as I'm talking to you now, I'm an APC person. Because of the little level I am in my own local government, they called me to order to come and join them, just to make sure that they win in this 2023 election, both the state and everything. But I refuse because they have failed. I want to critically go straight to your analyst.
Please ask your question.
It was like saying something that formally he accuses the president of so many things concerning the insecurity. But because they have called him to order, he has now remained silent. Let me tell you, I don't normally believe in manifesto. I've been saying it several times. But if you look into the the manifestos of all the presidential aspirants that we have that are coming out for this 2023 election. I tell you, the Labour Party, if happens that if you are in the Western world, you want them woefully. One thing you have to know is this. Now, this present government, you can have a senator that will have PA, and that PA will still have his PA, and that PA is having down to how many PAs, down to all the home offices.
All right.
The level they are wasting our resources to never make the nation to stand. The same thing with the governor. Not until you have a president that will take care of all these things. And if you look to the president, now this cabal you are talking in essence, the chief of army staff, the AIG, everything they are from the northerners. How do you think that the security issue will be settled?
All right, thank you so much, Collins.
All these things you can never stand.
Thank you so much, Collins. We have to let you go.
Fighting each other.
Thank you so much for that contribution, Collins. All right, let's take another story.
Okay.
Let's move. And the Nation newspaper says, okay, let's take Nigerian Tribune, says Nigeria needs a stingy leader to develop. That is coming from Peter Obi. Do you agree?
That Nigeria needs
a stingy leader. I even wonder what that means.
Now. When we say Nigeria need a stingy leader, we are talking about a leader that will come and look at the allowances and the salary that the National Assembly is earning. Now, if you look at what our senators take home as salary, it's enough to cater for about 500 youths in a month. I must be sincere with you. Now, that aside, if you look at what former governors are collecting as salary, and these former governors, all of them are retiring to the National Assembly, so they are collecting salary as former governors, and at the end of the day come back and spend 80 years in the National Assembly, and they will continue to collect another one. Now the question is this: how can we really take care of our economy? So any leader, for me, any leader that will come to rule this country again should be a leader that will be ready to really step on toes without fear. Now, how is that? We look at what, if I tell you what a retired IG is taking a month, what is he still doing for the country? Yes, he has served. Yes, agreed. But at least $1 million is okay. Because my dad, who retired, his allowances, not what he takes at the end of the day, is just about 120,000. They all go to the same market. They all go to the same market. They all make the same expenses. So what we are saying is that a stingy leader, in the sense that what our politicians are taking, what our ministers are taking as take home, will be cut off.
So does it actually mean that there have been administrations before them, before he might come in? Yeah. So does it actually mean that whoever has been there before now has been a free giver?
Oh, the truth remains, there has been a system. And that's why we are talking about someone who can change the narrative.
Okay.
There have been a system, there have been a foundation. You see, everybody, as far as this country is today, have seen political office as a place to make money. No two way about it. Anybody contesting today is not contesting because he wants to represent, because he actually wants to satisfy himself. It is not the name. These people have seen that without holding an office in the political space, you might not get that required money you want. So for P2B to actually said Nigeria need a stingy leader, that means Nigeria need a leader that will cut the expenses. Nigeria need a leader that will look more into infrastructure, productivity. Nigeria need more of somebody who will come to look at skills and potentials in our youth and upcoming that could actually sustain the country with so much desire.
All right, let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, please.
Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Huh?
start by telling us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, my name is Peter Shakume, and I'm calling you from Benue State, Makurdi to be precise.
Great. Peter from Makurdi, go ahead.
Okay, my contribution is, let me first of all give you compliments of the season for this beginning of the year.
Thank
and
you.
my regards to the analysts you have in the house.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Please, I appreciate his contribution very much to these issues he has been putting up this morning. I particularly want to call his attention to this last matter he's talking about, the stinginess, the president say whether he is going to be a
presidential candidate.
The press, yes, I must believe that the press did not assist him very well, if at all that is what he said. The right word could have been frugality, or as the analyst is trying to put up. I think the whole story is about how to have to cut unnecessary expenses and then reduce the cost of governance, so that because already we have a humongous amount of debt that is beyond reach. Though debt is not supposed to be a problem, but how to manage it.
All right.
But the situation where we have at hand now is for us to look inward and begin to cut clothes according to how we can wear it.
All right.
You know, so that we don't begin to get into some other difficulties. Like he talked about the retirement of the IG and an example of his. I think the people that worked and get to retirement retire at different levels. So, but what we should be talking about is these other issues that some appointees will take just few years in office, and then they will be going home with severance that could have just taken care of 35 years of.
All right, thank you so much, Peter. Thank you so much, Peter from Makurdi. Thank you for that contribution. All right, let's take another story. The Nation newspaper says DSS won't succumb to intimidation and harassment. I don't know if you actually saw that story. It happened a few days ago in the airport, and then you have the wife to the DSS Director General who was accused of harassing a particular politician from NNPP. I think it was in Kano State, or contesting in Kano State, and then you have that story have been there, and people have, it has actually raised quite a lot of dust and fuzz. And then people keep asking, are you supposed to have office of the wife of the DSS? And then people keep also asking that, coming from that particular office, why do you have such story coming forth, even when we remember what happened during the cyberbullying with regards to the youth that actually insulted the president's wife and how it was managed? What are your thoughts on all of this?
The first thing is this, that for those that are actually raising eyebrow on the DSSS, I will say first, before the issue of the wife of the Director General of the DSS, the issue of Emefiele came up first. And there were a lot of issues whereby some persons were saying that the DSS should not arrest Emefiele. Now, I want to put it to Nigerians this morning that the DSS have the right to invite anybody for questioning. In as much you are a citizen, yours is to go there, explain what you know. So the DSS should not be inviting you and you are running away. That is obvious. The first invitation I got from DSSS was when I was the youth council coordinator of my local government. And I went. So even then that I was very young, I was just an upcoming, the fear of DSS, because of the name and the way the activities was, you know, there was this fearfulness of DSS. Then a lot of persons are afraid of DSSS more than police. Well, if DSSS is coming to where we are doing protests, some of us will look for a means where we would have arranged where we want to escape from. You understand? Because their level of activities is more professional than police. So, but the truth is this, that if the DSSS is inviting you for questioning, I don't see reason why you are scorning. And to be candid with you, the DSSS have tried so much alongside Nigerian army to sustain our democracy. Take it or not, that is the truth. The present director I must confess to you, it's just that their successes are not being publicized, just like the police is doing. If I tell you a lot of things that the DSSS has caught that could have set this country on fire, but they will go secretly, they will iron it out, they will deal with it, and it will go like that.
All right, so let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from very quickly.
Okay, Raimi calling back.
All right, Raimi, you have less than 60 seconds.
Yes, I'll do that. The issue of DSS inviting the CBN governor, I want to quickly remind Nigerians and the analysts that CBN governor is having an immunity right now. You need to know that. Just like DSS cannot invite a sitting governor, DSS cannot invite CBN governor right now. If they have any reason they feel there is a threat in his activity and action, they have the right to write to the president, not to invite the CBN governor. If you think he's not right, then he should go back and check the law. Thank you.
Thank you, Raimi from Abuja. All right, I would like you to actually state on that, and then let's still talk about this harassment.
I will go back to that. But the truth is this: I must still let him know that, for example, I'm an office holder, and my activities are becoming questionable. Am I just saying that authority cannot invite me to say, Mr. Man, what is happening?
But not when you have immunity.
No. The truth is this. The truth is this. There are technical ways. It was his men. It was the men of the CBN governor that actually brought it out. It seems when they communicated with the CBN governor that please, we would love to see you to kind of put more light on so and so issue. And possibly because he actually knew that his hands are not clean. That's the truth. We must not continue to pamper issues as a country. 89 billion is not a child's play. It's not a child's play. This is our country. We asked you to come and manage the CBN for us. So, are you not saying that the UK he went to stay, is that where he will be managing our economy? No. He has to be here with us. So, that he has immunity does not mean that some of them that are at the ends of affair, within themselves there are ways they normally meet. So, the DSSS can easily call him, come, let us, this issue is a kind of raising eyebrow in the society. And citizens are asking questions. By the virtue of my office as the Director General of DSSS, please come, let us iron out this issue. Then we will see how we present it back to the world. Then his boys took it out to the social media.
Can you do that to the governor? Can you do that to a governor? Can you do that to the president?
No. The truth is
to iron out issues, you say it.
The point is that is where relationship in office comes on board. If there is no rivalry, I don't see reasons why a director of DSSS in a state will not have a good entanglement with the governor of a state where he is a director to discuss issues that borders on questioning from the citizens of the state. It's because there are barriers, and that is where we're having problem in governance. And until we deal with this sincerely, then we begin to get it right as a country.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Ibrahim Al-Khalif from Maiduguri.
Ibrahim from Maiduguri. Go ahead. 60 seconds, please.
Yes. I just want to comment good morning to the guests also. And I also want to respond to the comments made by earlier caller that the present CBN governor is enjoying immunity. But unfortunately, the immunity is for elected governors, not for that is how some lawyers interpreted the law. Unfortunately, he did not cite any law, but the DSS has already invited him once by the committee constituted by the president, and he already honored that one. And due to he was on bail, and everybody knows that. So the immunity, this present civilian governor is not in immunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that contribution. Thank you for keeping it short and simple. DSS won't succumb to intimidation. I will bring you back to that before we go ahead. Quickly touch on it.
No, the truth is this, that no matter the prayer, for me, I don't expect DSSS to succumb to insult, to ridiculousness, to a lot of backbiting that actually there are a lot of there are some areas whereby they could not manage situations well. But I must be sincere with you. Just before we enter Christmas, I will call your attention that it was not the duty of the DSSS to actually interfere in issue of fuel. But until their interventions, we begin to have fuel in excess in Abuja back again.
You're drifting.
They have to. No. What I'm saying is this.
Away from the question.
No. I'm not
the story.
No.
About the woman. About the wife of the DSS.
The truth is this: that some of the time there are activities that will be misconstrued.
Are you saying that Nigerians are misinterpreting this one?
No. The truth is it. If you look at the scenario of what happened there, it is only those that were in that scene that could give more light on it, but because there is this hatred to authorities, if I should actually, if I'm holding an office and my wife should do something, what has it to do with my office? Is my wife a DSSS personnel? Is my wife working in my office? It has nothing to do.
So does your wife need to have convoy? Does your wife need to have escorts? And then when if she has a problem with someone, then the escorts are even part of your own office. So they are the one that's supposed to punish that person.
Well, the truth is, that's why I say misconstruing. That what might happen there might not be the way it is being exaggerated by the people. Now, these two parties that this incident happened between, the question is this: have they resolved or not? So we should not begin to look at what people say.
We are actually looking at it in terms of the future. We're not talking about just
now. The truth is this: her action is on her, not on the husband. That is number one. The number two, if she is to be checkmated or chastised, she should be chastised directly, not the director. That is another area. Then she having an escort. If I feel the security of my wife is not safe in moving from one point to another, I should be able to provide security for her, because the office I occupy is a serious office that a lot of people want to target me, but because they are not getting me, they will look for a soft landing, either my wife or my children. And that is why he on his own, he has to be.
If you become a police officer and you decide to give your wife and all of your children one escort, what happens to other Nigerians? So should they actually, isn't that the reason why people are always complaining of we have too many VIP police than those that should be on the streets, than those that should be on the police stations?
Now, I have seen a lot of ordinary citizens like me seek for police escort to travel.
We are saying the same thing. We are trying to put
now the truth is this: when we talk about VIP and when we talk about normal citizens on a neutral ground, we are not supposed to have indifferences. But a country we found ourselves, and because of the foundation we met on ground, it has become a system. To dislodge that system, to now see ourselves as one, we only take the grace of God, and this we cannot shy away from. So now, raising the issue of the wife of the DSSS and the DG DSSS and a kind of some person seeing it as something that have to lead with to him being removed, or a kind of use it against his person, instead of even talking about his successes so far to sustain internal security. A lot of persons are not bidding on it. But one fact I must let you understand is that the actions might not be too good.
All right. Let's quickly take other stories. Our time is fast spent, and I'll appreciate it if you can actually unbundle two questions in one breath very quickly. Okay. Now, in the Nation newspaper and other newspapers says election will hold as planned. Federal government dismisses security threats to polls, and we saw that story flying around a few days ago saying that elections might be postponed or cancelled with regards to insecurity and all of that. But then the federal government is coming out to say that regardless, election will definitely hold. Even Daily Trust reports same story, says not trail INEC statement on election postponement and cancelment, but then the federal government says no cause for alarm, even if other people like the Afenifere says we will not accept the postponement. Now, what are your thoughts on this? That's one on the side. And then secondly, the Guardian newspaper says Naira redesign policy comes under pressure, as 27% of Lagosians, even Abuja residents, a lot of people are yet to get the new bank notes, and then a lot of people say that it should be postponed. They should extend the dates of that policy. So now you have two different questions, but very quickly touch on it in the next 2 minutes.
Now, the first one, I must tell you that 2023 election is going to hold. That is if INEC should key to some of our proposals before their decks. Now, you cannot have an effective election where you have not holistically incorporated the youth who could be your eyes in polling units, in local government, and in communities into the system. Now, when we talk about insecurity, nobody can come to my village and cause crisis without youth in my village being part of the process. So it means that anybody that will cause crisis in a polling unit, not in a ward during election, the person is part of that place. Okay. Now, it also means that such a person might be geared, not engineered by a particular politician who he is supporting because he has been given some amount of money. All so right. To actually deal with this, number one, the INEC should see it that all the office seekers in the forthcoming election sign an undertaking that anybody that is being caught and the person is working for you, you've lost that office. Yes, because it means that you are a problem creator, not a problem solver. So for you to actually want to have an office, and not until you keep people, put a community in a mess that you cannot, it means that you are not a good person. You don't have a good record in such a place. I recall
having a conversation with the INEC commissioner, and he said that INEC don't have the right to prosecute.
They don't have right to persecute, but the truth is that there are departments that could ask questions, and there are appropriate offices that could send their petitions to. Right. Like whatsoever that happened, they have a department on security. So those that have been arrested during that commit security offenses, there are offices that handle their cases. So they cannot just say that they don't have the power to persecute. Then why did they have the Directorate of Security in the INEC? So, but let me help you out. Let me help you out that 2023 election will hold.
Great.
But the INEC should try all they could to make sure that critical youth leaders in the country, that the INEC chairman meets with them, discuss with them, give them that maximum support to go back to their individual community to talk to their fellow youth. Right. If really they want to achieve this success.
Let's quickly touch on the
money
policy.
To be candid with you, a situation whereby you go to the bank and by now you are still collecting the old Naira note.
Even it means that,
yes, even in the ATM you are still collecting the old Naira note. So then where is that means the CBN is not even ready. That's the truth. As I talk to you, all the money I have, I have about 100,000 plus in my car, but I want to tell you that I don't have access to the new note. All the money I collected yesterday.
Oh, so you have over 100,000 plus in your car?
Yes, I have. I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman.
Interesting.
Yes, I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer.
Why do you move out with such money?
I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman.
Let's leave it there. Thanks so much, Ade-Mario, security consultant and public affairs analyst. It's been a wonderful time having this talk with you.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year. Happy
New Year to you again. All right, our phones are really buzzing, but we're so sorry we can't take. But let's give one last caller. Hello, good morning. Oh, you see, and he just left.
Oh.
That's where we end this segment of the press. We'll go straight to our social media corner, and there's this particular video that trended all through yesterday of a parent, especially the father, who is giving his baby marijuana to smoke. And these things happen, but it's just because we were able to see this one on social media. That's why it trended. But thank God they were being picked by the police yesterday. Okay, I think we don't have that video, so we'll get that video later tomorrow. But let's take another one, and this one is coming from Omoni Oboli. She said, PSA, if you are a full-grown woman and still a mean girl, that is in quote, then please seek help. It's weird. It's 2023. We don't sneak diss, bully, or hate on other women. We uplift, encourage, and applaud each other. And if you really don't like someone or something, then simply don't interact with them. If you have nothing nice to say, say nothing. Don't be messy or miserable. Please evolve and adapt to the times. And then she later says that women need other women in their lives who think they are a big deal. No competition, no backhanded comments, no jealousy, no hate. Just, I love you, I support you, and there is no one on earth like you. Kinda energy. That is what we should bring forth. I agree with this one. No more jealousy, no more of all of that diss and hate and bad energy. We should always love on them. Okay, all right, okay, so I think we actually have the picture to that marijuana video, but then we'll definitely get you the video later on, probably tomorrow or later on other shows. All right, so let's take other stories from social media trend. This one says from Toby Nocturnal. He says, my computer science degree that I normally relegate in Nigeria, I reach abroad and discover that it is everything and more. It opens doors like mad. My MSc in geoeconomic informatics finished work. I paid about 110,000 naira in Unilag. These degrees put me 2 steps ahead. God bless Naija. That's the kind of spirit that we should be bringing. Not everybody trying to jackpot and then trying to paint a black, trying to turn Nigeria like we all are stark raving mad. That's actually bad energy. Now take a look at this one. A particular tweet from Peruzzi says that song that you always think that they said one day if you see the mermaid. It is not what he said though. What this one is saying is he said one name. If you see the ma'am a not mermaid, Her Royal Majesty, and then someone comes out to say, so no be mermaid you talk. And we'll be singing if you see the mermaid. Can you imagine? Anyway, now you know the real song and the real lyrics. Now we'll take the last one. Here says it's actually from you Edoche. Okay, Mr. Macaroni. He says any politicians offering you money in exchange for your vote is not going to serve you. They are only investing. If they get into office, they will loot the nation's treasury, which rightfully belongs to the people. Do not vote for thieves and looters. They are destroyers. And the Yul Edoche says, or replies to that message, says, I used to think that it is politicians that offer money until I joined politics and ran for office. My eyes opened. It is mainly the people that demand money from politicians and put them in a tight corner where they must find money by all means to share or fail or fall rather. All right, quite a very great one coming from both people. All right, so viewers, that's where we end this segment of that's where we actually end this show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and to all those who called and we could not take your calls, I am so sorry. I promise we'll take all the calls tomorrow. We'll get more time to take your calls. I'll see you again tomorrow. But before I leave, even though I'm beginning to sound like a broken record, I prefer to sound like a broken record. Go get your PVC and vote right. I'll see you again tomorrow from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Annabel Orji. God bless Nigeria.